Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for listening my answer in the question given. My name is Nita Safitri. Friends call me Avi sometimes. I'm a studying college from Management International, Universitas Tanjung Pura, especially HRM concentrations. Today I'm here to answer the question given my lecturer, Mr. Adi Mursalin. Firstly, I will answer the question part A, which deal with the activities in Zoom meeting. There are 4 questions there. Next, I will answer the questions on part B, which deal with the theories of advanced HRM. There are 16 questions, and then I will watch 2 videos given and answer the question that follow. Well, my dear friends, let me begin my answer. My answer to these questions is yes, I always enter advanced HRM courses. The lessons start in every Monday on 7 p.m. And of course, I always want to discuss with my friends who deserve the presentation's material. Several times, I also answer the questions and ask questions. And evidence of my activities in Zoom meeting in this lecture may be in some of the recording of this class Zoom meeting, which have been uploaded by Sir Adi on his learning YouTube channel. And I'm trying to answer questions from the group discussion chapter 26 and 25. The chapter that have been present before the midterm exam are 6 chapters. And the first topic is organizing a design present by Kevin. The second topic is job design and world development present by Bagas. The third topic is organizational development, change and transformations present by Wahyu. And the fourth topic is human resources planning present by Tiffany. And the fifth topic is talent management present by Andrian. And the last topic is recruitment and selection present by myself. And how we find the presentation is the first is from the organization behavior class group chat, where before the day of their presentation, the lecturer will ask the class in chat group, and then at the end of the Zoom meeting and the last in the presentation slide they send. Of course, I got a new knowledge, especially about science from the material that had been conveyed by friends. Then also the lecturer would tell and everything related to advanced HRM either in the organization or in the world of work. Then get new insight from each discussion sessions with friends or lecturer and share about each student personal experience or opinion. The book we use for our study is the 10th edition of a Handbook of Human Resources Management Practice by Michael Armstrong. A lecturer gives this book to study, where each chapter will be studied by students, especially in the Advanced HRM class. The primary advantage of a decentralized organization is that managers are able to make quick decisions that can save your company money. By empowering your managers, you trust their instincts and abilities because you know they understand the daily work process better than you do. Another advantage is that it lightens your workload and frees you up to develop strategic plans for the future of your business. When you empower your managers, you also motivate them to work harder because they want to prove that your trust in them is well placed. Increased motivations can lead to better communication between managers and staff members and greater morale in the workplace. And the challenge decentralization provides a challenge in the fight against corruption. In this, the lack of capacity and system at both central and local levels can be serious obstacles. The power of local elite interests is another major obstacle. It is therefore important in promoting decentralization to understand the nature of the power relationship and informal networks of patronage of the local level that can undermine local accountability. It is also important to design sufficiently robust system or central monitoring and disseminations of informations. So firstly, I will make some plan the future, plan out as far into the future as you can. For new organizations, discover the next 3 to 5 years. And the second is consider the past in terms of how departments or teams work together. Consider what has worked out well and what hasn't. For example, are certain departments at odds with each other? Do certain teams compete because your reporting structure encourages and helps rivalries? And the third is bold organizational structure. Should be on establishing the optimal, most efficient workflow achieving business goals, serving customer well. There are many ways by which you can organize your employees by functions, such as sales, marketing, accounting, or finance, by region, and by product line. And the fourth is filling the people. Employee may have the skill set but doesn't enjoy the work, or the new role bring a level of pressure or attention that they want. The principle of weighting skill versus desire also applies to recruits and new hires. And the fifth is balance authority and responsibility. No matter where they fit within the organizational structure, give your employees equal measures of authority and responsibility. And the sixth is fill in employees' data and metrics. Include key metrics can your organization chart to give you a comprehensive picture of the person identified in each role. This will also reveal is a much large story about your company. And the seventh is practice robust performance management of employees. This will also help to avoid the risk of organizational bloat, which indicates a tolerance of underperformance and complacency with status. And the X is review your organizational structure annually. This helps ensure relevancy and the plan for the next 12 months. The first is the process of organizing. The process involves determining what work is needed to accomplish the goal, assigning those tasks to individuals, and arranging those individuals in a decision-making framework such as organizational structure. And the second is the aim of the organization design. Organizational design is the purpose of aligning the structure of an organization with its objective, with the ultimate aim of improving efficiency and effectiveness. And the third is conducting the organization reviews. Organizational reviews is the process to collect, organize, analyze, interpret, and share relevant information to enable the strengthening of the organizations. And the fourth is organization analysis. Organization analysis is the process of appraising the growth, personnel, operations, and work environment of an entity. Job design here will influence workers to increase their role development in the company. The existence of a job designs, of course, also helps to hone the employee's ability at work. For example, workers who do not have a background in public speaking, companies can provide a job desk for them in the form of public speaking, so that employees get used to it. So the first is the process of intrinsic motivations. Intrinsic motivations is the act of doing something without any obvious external rewards. You do it because it's enjoyable and interesting rather than because of an outside incentive or pressure to do it, such as reward or deadline. And next is the characteristics of task structure. In the latter case, the task may require a variety of skills, which have to be possessed by all members of the terms, such as multi-skilling, in order to work flexibility. The internal structure of each task consists of 3 elements. The first is planning, such as deciding on the course of actions, its timing, and the resources required. And the second is executing, carrying out the plans. And the third is controlling, such as monitoring performance and progress and taking corrective actions when required. Responsibility in a job is measured by the amount of authority someone has to do all these things. And the next is the motivation characteristic of jobs. The ideal arrangement from the point of view of intrinsic motivations is to provide for fully integrated jobs containing all 3 task elements. In practice, management and team leaders are often entirely responsible for planning and control, leaving the worker responsible for executions. And next is the significance of the job characteristic model, a useful perspective on the factor affecting job design and motivations is provided by Heckman and Oldham, 1974, job characteristic model. They suggest that the critical psychological states of experience, meaningfulness of work, experience, a responsibility for outcomes of work, and knowledge of the actual incomes of work strongly influence motivations, job satisfactions, and performance. And the next is providing intrinsic innovations. The three characteristics have been distinguished by Lawler, 1969, as being required in jobs if they are to be intrinsically motivating, such as feedback, use or abilities, and self-controlling. While the intentions behind all the four is to motivate employees, develop skills, and thus increase productivity, there are some differences in the way each approach to motivate. The first is job enrichment, approach in which employees are motivated by giving more responsibility. This is a vertical expansions of job which give more control and managerial access in decision making. In simple terms, it's an approach to motivate employee by increase the quality of job. Example of job enrichment include adding extra tasks, also called job enlargement, increasing skills, variety, adding meaning to jobs, creating autonomy, and giving feedback. And the next is job enlargement, approach in which employees are motivated by increasing the range of duties and responsibility. This is a horizontal expansion, usually during economic downtime. The strategy is used while downsizing by giving additional work responsibilities to employees while not increasing the pay. In simple terms, it's an approach to motivate employee by increasing the quantity of responsibility. For example, an employee who will now also manage her own planning where this was formerly done by her manager. And the next is job enjoyment. Employee engagement is a measure of loyalty that an employee has to their job in position or employee or company culture. This loyalty can affect the productivity and wellness of the organization, as positively engaged employees are more likely to go extra mile and perform to the best of their ability. They also help in building happy and engaged workforce and just organization brands. For example, health and wellness focus with our running. Organizational development is concerned with the planning and implementations of programs designed to enhance the effectiveness with which an organization functions and respond to change. Overall, the aim is to adopt a planning and coherent approach to improving organizational effectiveness. An effective organization can be defined broadly as one that achieves its purpose by meeting the wants and needs of its stakeholders, matching its resources to opportunities, adapting flexibility to environmental change, and creating a culture that promotes commitment, creativity, shared values, and mutual trust. Organizational transformations is the process of ensuring that an organization can develop and implementing major change programs that will ensure that it responds strategically to new demands and continue to function effectively in the dynamic environment in which it operates. Organizational transformations activities may involve radical change to the structure, culture, and process of the organizations, the way it looks at the world. This may be in response to competitive pressures, mergers, acquisitions, investment, disinvestment, change in technology, product lines, market, cost reductions exercise, and existence to downsize or outsource work. Change management is the applications of a structured process and set of tools for leading the people side of change to achieve a desired outcomes. While all changes are unique and all individuals are unique, decades of research show there are actions we can take to influence people on their individual transitions. Change management provides a structured approach for supporting people in your organizations and helping them move from their current states to their own future states. There are two main types of change: strategic and operational. Strategic change. Strategic change deals with long-term organizational transformations and organizational-wide issues. It is about moving to a future state which have been defined generally in terms of strategic visions and scope. This will include the organization goals and missions, the company philosophy on such matters as growth, quality, innovations, and values about people, the needs of the customer service serve and the technology employed. This objective is supported by policies on marketing, sales, manufacturing, product and process development, finance, and human resources management. Strategic change occurs in the context of external competitions, the economic of social environments, and the organization internal resources, capabilities, culture, structures, and systems. And operational change. Operational change related to new system, procedure, structure, on technology which will have an immediate effect on working arrangements within a part of the organizations, but their impact on people can be more significant than broader strategic change, and they have to be handled just as carefully. Resistance. The change can be difficult to overcome even it is not detrimental to the person concerned. The first step is to analyze the potential impact of the change by considering how it will affect the people in their work. The analysis should indicate which aspect of the proposed change can be supported generally or by specific individuals and which this aspect may be opposed. To the extent possible, potentially hostile or negative people reactions should be identified, taking into account all possible reasons for resisting the change instead above. Involvement in the change process gives people the opportunity to rise up and resolve their concern and make a suggestion about the form of change and how it should be introduced. The goal is to gain ownership, a feeling among people that change is something they enjoy because they have been involved in planning and recognizing it has become their change. Communications about the proposed change should be carefully prepared and worded so that unnecessary fears are allayed. But face-to-face communication direct from managers to individuals through a team briefing system are best. The basic mechanism for managing change according to Levin 1951 are as follows. The first is unfreezing, altering the present stable equilibrium which supports existing behaviors and attitudes. This process must take account of the inherent traits that change present to people and the need to modify those affected to attain the natural state of equilibrium by accepting change. And the next is changing, developing new responses based on new information, and the next is rephrasing, stabilizing the change by introducing the new response into the personalities of the concerns. Lewin also suggested a methodology for analyzing change which called field force analysis. This involves is analyzing the restraining or driving force that will affect the transition to the future state. The restraining forces will include directions of those who see change as unnecessary or as constituting a threat. And next is assessing which of driving or restraining forces are critical. And the next is taking steps to increase the critical driving forces and to decrease the critical restraining forces. And the next is Pict. According to Pict 1969, a change program should incorporate the following process. First is setting codes and defining the future state or organizational conditions desired after the change. And the next is diagnosing the present conditions in relation to these codes. And the next is defining the transition state, activities, and commitment required to meet the future state. And the next is developing strategies and actions plan for managing these transitions in the light of an analysis of the factor likely to affect the introductions of change. And the next is Charlie, 1979. Describe the following 5 approaches to managing change. The first is directive, the impositions of change in crisis situations or when other methods have failed. This is done by the exercise of managerial power without consultations. And next is bargaining. This approach recognizing that power is shared between the employer and the employee that a change requires negotiations, compromise, and agreement before being implemented. And next is heart and minds. An all-embracing trust to change the attitudes, values, and beliefs of the world workforce. And the next is analytical. This is the rational and logical approach much favored by consultants external and internal, but change seldom processes as smoothly as this model would suggest. Emotions, power politics, and external pressure mean that the rational approach, although it might be the right way to start, it is difficult to sustain. And next is actions based. This typical approach to change starts with a broad belief that some sort of problem exists, although it might not be well defined. The identifications of possible solutions, often on a trial and error basis, leads to a clarification of the nature of the problem and a shared understanding of possible optimal solutions, or at least a framework within which solutions can be discovered. And next is Quinn. According to Quinn, 1980, the approach to strategic change is characteristic as a process of artfully blending former analysis, behavioral techniques, and power politics to bring about a cohesive step-by-step movement towards ends which were initially conceived, but which are constantly refined and reshaped as new information appears. Quinn emphasizes that it is necessary to create awareness and commitment incrementally, broaden political support, manage coalitions, and empower champions. One, the achievement of sustainable change requires a strong commitment and visionary leadership from the top. 2. Understanding is necessary of the culture of the organizations and the levers for change that are most likely to be effective in that culture. 3. Those concerned with managing change at all levels should have the temperament and leadership skills appropriate to the circumstance of the organizations and its change strategies. 4. It is important to build a working environment that is conducive to change. 5. People support what they help to create commitment to change is in favor of this effective by change and allowed in participant as fully as possible in planning and implementing it. 6. The reward system should encourage innovations and recognize success in achieving change. 7. Change will always involve failure as well as success. The failure must to expect and learning from. 8. Hard evidence and data on the needs for change are the most powerful tools for the achievement, but establishing the need for change is easier than deciding how to satisfy it. 9. It is easier to change behavior by changing process, structure and system than to change attitudes or the corporate culture. 10. There are always people in organizations who can act as champions of change. They will welcome the challenge and opportunities that change can provide. They are the ones to be chosen as the change agents. 11. Resistance to change is inevitable in the individual concern feel that they are going to be worse of implicity of explicitly. And 12. In an age of global competition, technological innovations, turbulence, discontinue, even cause change in inevitable and necessary, the organizations must do all it can to explain why change is essential and how it will affect everyone. Human resources planning enables business to meet their current and future demands for talent, allowing human resources managers to anticipate and develop the skills most valuable to an organization and providing the enterprise with the optimal balance of staff in terms of available skill set and numbers of personnel. Proper planning also provides a path future development by establishing a reservoir of talent capable of filling leadership roles. And in the long term, human resources planning helps align human capital management more closely with business strategy. Deployed effectively, HR planning enables a business to optimize its usage of human resources, increasing productivity while reducing labor turnover, employee unrest, and absenteeism. It's important to the enterprise in several respects. The 5 business management functions of planning, organizing, leading, directing, and controlling rely on the oversight and actions of human resources planning. For the effective executions at the organizational level, good HR planning enables the enterprise to optimize the deployment and utilization of available talent, and to recognize earlier and in more detail the need for additional of alternative skills. If I'm being a manager, first I will try to trust. As a manager, when I show my employees that I trust them, they will take ownership of their own work and only look to me for advice when they need it. And the second is good communications. Communication skills encompasses almost every management task. Great leaders need to be able to present ideas and visions to inspire others, highlight the importance of tasks, discuss next step with staff and get on with tasks around them. And the third is ability to motivate. To successfully I shall work off the emotions of my employees and what matters to them by identifying individuals' talents, ability, and strength. I will find what makes my team tick. The fourth is problem-solving skills. A great managers work to identify and overcome various problems before they become bigger issues, and to do this, you need outstanding attention to detail. By spotting problems before they come to a head and identifying the root of the problems, you take the pressure of your employees and those above you. 1. The resourcing strategy. The business plan provides the basis for human resources planning, which defines human capital requirements and threats to attractions and potentials, policies, and programs for internal resourcing. 2. Attraction and retention policies and programs are attraction policies leads to programs for external resourcing, such as recruitment and selecting of people from outside the organizations. Retention policies are designed to ensure that people remain as committed members of the organizations. 3. Talent audit. A talent audit identifies those with potential and provides the basis for career planning and development. ensuring that talent people have the sequence of experience supplemented by coaching and learning programs that will fit them to carry out more demanding roles in the future. Talent audits can also be used to indicate the possible danger of talent people living, such as risk analysis and what actions may need to be taken to return them. 4. Role development. Talent management is concerned with the roles people carry out. This involves role development, ensuring that roles provide the responsibility, challenge, and autonomy required to create a role engagement and motivations. It also involves taking steps to ensure that people have the opportunity and are given the encouragement to learn and develop in their roles. 5. Talent relationship management. Talent relationship management is the process of building effective relationships with people in their roles. It is concerned generally with creating a great place to work, but particularly it is about treating individual employees fairly, recognizing their value, giving them a voice, and providing opportunities for growth. 6. Performance management. Performance management process provide a means of building relationship with people, identifying talent and potential, planning, learning, and development activities, and marking the most of the talent possessed by the organizations. 7. Total reward. Total reward strategies, which provide for both financial and non-financial rewards, can contribute to the engagement and commitment of talent-made people by demonstrating that they are valued for their contribution and by operating fairly and consistently. 8. Learning and development. Learning and development policies and programs are essential components in the process of development talent, ensuring that people acquire and enhance the skills and competencies they need. 9. Career management. Career management consists of the process of career planning and management successions. Career planning shapes the progressions of individuals within organizations in accordance with assessment of organization's needs, define employee success profiles, and the performance potential and preference of individual members of the enterprise. 1. Role profiles for recruitment purpose. They may also include a list of the competency required. These will be technical competence, knowledge, and skills, and any specific behavior competencies attached to the role. For recruitment purpose, the profile is extended to include information on terms and conditions such as pay, benefits, hours of work, special requirements such as mobility, traveling, or unsocial hours, and training, development, and career opportunities. And 2. Using a competency-based approach. A competency approach can help to identify which selection techniques, such as psychology testing or assessment centers, are most likely to produce useful evidence. 3. Attracting candidates is primarily a matter of identifying, evaluating, and using the most appropriate sources of applicants. 4. Outsourcing recruitment. In this case, the company can use the consultant agency or agency within the company to intend the desired candidates. 5. Educational and training establishment. Some companies usually attach to the background of education's graduates and skills or expertise they have. This is usually a consideration which will be very concerned. 6. Application forms. Application forms set out the information on a candidate in a standardized format. They provide a structured basis for drawing a short list, the interview itself, and for the subsequent actions in overrun appointment and in setting up personal records. 7. Safety applications. It's the things that will be considered by the company in the form of they have created, where the candidates have sent the form that has been filled later will be checked completely. 8. Selecting candidates. The main selection methods are the interview, assessment centers, and tests. Another and much more obvious method used by a few firms in the UK and more extensively in the rest of Europe is scrapology. 9. Types of interview. First is it involves face-to-face discussions and provide the best opportunity for the establishment of close contact rapport between the interview and the candidates. And the second is the interviewers can discuss their joint impressions of the candidate's behavior at the interview and modify of enlarge any superficial judgment. 10. Assessment centers. This will be establishment by observations of their behavior in different but typical situations, and by the range of the tests and structured interviews that are part of the proceedings, as assessment centers also give candidates a better feel for the organizations and its values so that they can decide for themselves whether or not they are likely to fit. According to the explanation from Eric Kimberly from CIO of Third Stage Consulting, here he says that there is no one definition, there is no one standard way to define change management. So we can conclude that change management is needed to change people and change your organization, to change your culture, everything related to people and the human side of your business, everything to change. Change management is also how to keep those people in tune. How we keep our organizations in tune and not only understand what change is, but also align what change is and why it happened and what it means for all of us in a nutshell. In summary, change management is everything to do with changing people, keeping them aligned in assuring that the organizational human aspect of your transformations is being addressed. Now, in addition, to ensure that your people, your employees, your organization as a whole are aligned and in fact prerequisite. For that, you want to ensure that your executiveness are aligned. Many times our company move forward a change or transformations of some kind without having a clear executive alignment. So in my opinion, is model 2. There is a talk about employees benefit wherein we will be studying about legally recorded employment benefits such as social security, unemployment, compensations and workers' compensations, retirement, related benefits such as retirement plans, pre-retirement planning in place, provident fund and graduating insurance related benefits such as health insurance, life insurance and accidental insurance, other flexible benefit, the other portions of Module 2. Studies and talks about career planning and growth we will be understanding about career management stage of career concept of employment, growth and managing the career planning. Well, my friends, that's all my answer. I hope that you can understand my answer. Please give comment and subscribe. Thank you.